Hi, friends. I want to share a foundational skill that applies to everyone, but NP types in particular, NTPs and NFPs. With these types, especially, our minds move very quickly. It's really hard for us to sit still and focus on one thing because we have all sorts of ideas that are constantly arising. Right? We think of one thing and that sends us down a rabbit hole with all sorts of branching pathways leading to other ideas. And so, um, there are many different productivity solutions to this. Things like the Pomodoro technique, where you set a timer and then you take short breaks on a regular interval. You're also told to just kind of slow down, practice mindfulness, take some deep breaths. And I said foundational skill earlier because I want to speak to something that's kind of beneath all of this. It's even deeper, which is all of these productivity techniques for dealing with the overactive mind rely on this idea of slowing down and taking a break to be in the moment, right? Um, you've heard this in all sorts of ways. Present moment awareness. That's what we build when we meditate, when we practice mindfulness, and so on. And I believe that there's so much power to that is a very crucial solution to so many issues we face in life. But the thing is that it really relies on your willingness to actually be in silence, doing nothing. It requires you to actually take a break, to stop thinking about your to-do list, to stop planning what you're going to do when the break is over, and to actually take the break, to actually be in the moment fully without thinking about the next moment, right? It's kind of obvious maybe when I say it that way because the whole point is to take a break, is to slow down, is to be in the moment, right? But I think where so many of us get into trouble is that we spend that break thinking about the future or the what if or the past, right? And so, your Pomodoro timer goes off and okay, now's when I'm supposed to take a short break before starting another round. I'm supposed to notice that my mind is really active right now, and that's my cue to take a deep breath and slow down, right? But if while you're taking that deep breath or while you're taking your Pomodoro break, you're not really resting in the moment, it's not going to work, right? And so here is my tip, all this to say, leading up to. I think the key is to reframe something for yourself, which is the core idea of waiting or wasting time. All of us growing up in this modern dominant culture have been so indoctrinated in this idea that we have to be active, we have to be hurrying, we have to be doing something, that any kind of period of silence or slowing down or taking a real break and actually doing nothing can feel like wasting time. There's so much to be done. So I could be better using this moment on something else, right? Why would I waste it on doing nothing? And that right there is the problem. That is where we have to retrain our brains and reframe that for ourselves as in this moment when I'm taking a deep breath or when I'm taking my little break, it is not a waste of time, and I'm not waiting for something to happen. I'm not waiting for some revelation or for kind of the real break to start, right? Like if I just sit here with my eyes closed, then suddenly if I wait a few minutes, like something's gonna pop up. Like, oh, okay, now Now I'm really resting, right? Um, that's not going to happen, right? Because the yeah, how can I put this? It's reframing the idea of perhaps it's turning something that feels passive into something that feels active, right? So passive is I'm not doing anything. Oh, I'm supposed to take a 5-minute break before I start again. What am I supposed to do for 5 minutes? I guess I'll think about my to-do list. I guess I know I'm supposed to not check my email. I'm supposed to not go on YouTube. Right? It's kind of, it feels like you want to do something, but you're not allowed to do something because you're supposed to be passive. You're supposed to do nothing, right? And so the solution, I think, is to turn that into something that is actually active. Instead of doing nothing, do something. And here's the something. The something is be fully in the present moment. And that might sound ridiculous, but what I mean is catch yourself as soon as you are thinking about the future, what you're going to do in a few minutes when this break is over, or once you've taken these deep breaths, what are you going to do next? Or thinking about the past, that stupid thing you said earlier today, or why didn't you make better use of your time, or whatever it is, or the what if this happens, what if this were different? And instead come back to what is actually around you right now in this present moment. So you can use your surroundings as an anchor to force you to really take a break and really be right here, right now. Because those thoughts about the past and the future are elsewhere. They're taking you away from here. And so the way to come back to here is to actually be here in this space, right? So look around yourself and, okay, what colors do you see? What shapes do you see? What textures? What is actually happening around you in this moment? And you have to be careful because when you look at something, you're automatically going to start thinking about it. And that's going to create a chain of thoughts, right? You see a car there, and you think, oh, I want a new car, or I once had a car like that. Oh, what kind of car should I get, right? And you're already going down the chain of thoughts. And so as soon as you notice that happen, you have to come back and just see it as a car, just as a shape, a color, right? So it's really trying to see it just as kind of pure sensory visual data. There is this rectangle-y thing that's red, right? Let me just look at its redness. And as soon as you start turning it into a story, as soon as you start turning it into an abstract concept, that's your signal to come back and just look at something else. Oh, there's a tree-shaped object. Look at the texture of its bark. Look at the shape of its leaves. Look at the different colors of green in its leaves. Right? So you're not thinking about, oh, I wonder what type of tree it is. You're just looking purely what is right around you right now with no story, no abstract concepts, just pure sensory data. And that is how you actually slow down and be in the moment. So when you're taking that deep breath to slow down, look around. You can look at your hand. Wow, look at all these colors and textures and bumps and ridges. You can look at the wall. Wow. Look at the way the shadow falls on that wall. Such a different gradation of color there. It's just in every moment, there's so much to observe. And so when you take a break, right, the whole point of taking a break is to give your mind a rest. Your mind's just been really active doing something. And so if you just go and check your email or go check Facebook, you're not actually giving your mind a rest. The way to give your mind a rest is to get out of your mind and into your sensory experience. So that's what a real break is. Stand up, walk around, look around yourself, take some breaths. Do that for a few minutes. Force yourself to stay present right here. That is how you actually rest. And then you can get on with whatever you want to do next. So I invite you to give that a try. As soon as you can. Maybe right now. Just take a little break. Set a timer for yourself for just a minute maybe. And practice staying fully present in your surroundings right here, right now. Notice when your mind takes you away, and as quickly as you can, come back to looking what is around you right in this moment. Let me know how it goes. Thanks for watching.